Kia ora e te whānau. So here is one of my Ringbounds. Well, this is the other one. The first one was Arabella and this one is Butterfly. I just thought I would flick through a couple of photos. So this is going to be the come make a journal with me. It's going to be huge and it's going to be very, very embellished. So let's get started. Here are the supplies I'm going to be using because I'm going to start to make some of the bases which are gel printed, and these are the colours, these are the paints that I'm using for the gel printing. Hopefully you can zoom in and just see the colours and stuff that I'm using. You're also going to need a pile of stencils, whatever you have is fine, and a roller, a sponge, some wet wipes and some paper to wipe off on. And you will also need a hairdryer or a heat gun unless you want to be there for hours drying the paint air dry, which you can do. I have learnt that I hold my hand underneath the heat gun so that I know what distance to hold it away from the plate so that I don't damage it. I would just suggest that for the first few times you do that, or a hairdryer on cool or warm should do the trick as well. But yeah, I don't have a problem with the heat gun near my gel plate. I've never damaged one and it doesn't blow as much as a hairdryer. Okay, so I'm going to use 240 GSM card for my page bases. I like them to be quite substantial in thickness, not just paper. So grab some heavy cardstock or card that you've got at home and we'll get started. I'm not going to show every process of me stenciling, etc., because it's just exactly the same kind of process but in different orders and different stencils and using a different paint color on first. So just all I can do is encourage you to really have a play and you'll come out with something fantastic. And you'll see later on in the video, I think it's this one or the second one that I did, I actually wasn't that happy with it and I just printed over the top of it again and now I'm happy with it. So I'm just going to try putting the gold on first. That on its own won't print gold, but whatever you put behind it will change the tone of the gold and will either give you a reflection in the light, or if you put something dark behind it, it would be easier to see. So I'm not doing the whole plate, the whole stencil, sorry. I'm just putting some gold on here and there. And throughout this video, I probably won't talk through it because it's just going to be me re-explaining exactly what I'm doing here. But I will show you a couple of the different processes and layering that I did, and I'll put it on fast forward as well. And yeah, hopefully the reveal of each one will be enough. Okay. So here's the first reveal. I wasn't entirely sure I liked this, but it seems to fit now that I've seen them all together. Whether or not I'll use it, I don't know. But you can definitely see the shimmer and the different layers when you move it around in the light. Now I'm just going to show you a few different techniques that you can use with the stencils. It won't necessarily be from beginning to the pull. at the end, but I will put a whole lot of the pull reveals on the end of this video. Just showing you another way to use the stencil. If you cover the plate first and then grab a wet wipe after you've put the stencil on top and just wipe away some of the ink between the pattern this time rather than going through the stencil. You'll see later in the video the dark one that I didn't like. I used this method to fix it. You can see at the start of this video I've still got some residue left from the pull that I did before. I love this. This is what really makes them unique and grungy, and sometimes I do pull them a little early on purpose so that this happens. Just gives a more faded, rustic, old wallpaper feel, I think. So now I'm going to show you another technique, and I've just gone and picked some hydrangea leaves from my garden. Just a reasonably thin layer of paint, but so that it covers the plate, and place your leaves on however you like the composition. You're going to need a little bit of tissue paper for this, or deli paper, just to pull off the excess ink around the leaves. And I'll just wipe up any of the extra bits that I don't like that were still left behind with a wet wipe. Now I'm going to use a little bit of that olive ink, and I'm going to add a bit of water to it. This kind of makes an effect that where the water and the paint separate from the gel plate, and it looks quite neat and quite rustic. So you'll see that when I do the final pull. You'll also notice that I leave this one on the gel plate and just flip it over for now. That's just to give it a little bit more drying time. This one here, I've just obviously already printed this side, and I'm now printing on the other side so that I have one sheet that's double-sided. This will be to make the cover of a little booklet later on in the series. You could also run it through your printer and print on the other side if you wanted to. Now we'll go over some of the pulls one by one that I have done. So as I said before, we haven't done the entire process together because there's no way that even I could even replicate the same ones myself again. It's just a matter of layering, drying between layers, and making sure that you have that wet layer at the end that you put the paper directly onto. This acts like glue to the paper and adheres more to the paper than the gel plate. This one here is the one that I didn't really like because of how dark it came out. Usually I will pull my last layer with white just so that it brightens the composition a bit. So I put that stencil technique that I mentioned earlier over the top of it, and I'm pretty happy with how that came out. But when you see the finals, you'll notice that I also put another stencil over top of that as well, a cream colour. So I'll just let you watch these in peace, and then I will go over all of the results and some of the ones that I forgot to record when I was pulling them at the end. Okay, all done. So let's see what we've got. These are just from the wipe off papers, but I usually use them, and quite often when I've got ink still, paint still on a stencil, I will just lay them onto those pieces that I've used to wipe off the roller. They can be great in collage to match these colours. They can be great made into pockets. So just remember, these we may not use all of them, but I will scan them so that they'll be part of the pack. And you can use them, the same ones I'm using, you can use different ones, whatever you want to do. And I don't want them too pretty. I want them grungy so that they can be used as backgrounds and you don't worry about which parts you're going to cover up, if that makes sense. So if I had a beautiful little floral arrangement here, then I'm not going to want to cover it up with pockets and stuff. But because it's so grungy and the pattern's everywhere, it really won't matter where I put the pocket. So I'll just quickly go through everything that we've got. So there's that one. They've all come out really different. I hope you like them. Just do that so that you can see where the gold is on them. That was the one that I didn't like. Quite happy with that now. It's the beauty of gel printing. Just chuck another stencil over it. I think that's one of my favourites. So I've got a real range. I mean, you imagine if that was just a pocket. So you can use bits of them, you can use the whole thing. This one is really unusual because if you look at it like that, but then when you tip it, you can see all of the other pattern come out of it. It's like one of those little things that my nana used to have on her oven, those stickers that used to change the picture depending on which way you looked at them. So we got heaps out of that. So whether you're going to give that a go yourself or whether you just want to use the digitals, I've got to go into school tomorrow, so I can scan them all at high resolution so that they will print beautifully. Obviously you're not going to get the shimmer because photocopiers or a printer is just not going to print that gold, and it's not going to pick it up on the scan either. But there you go. There is part 1 of what will be many episodes of making a ring-bound journal. But I've just got to say, I so enjoyed seeing what you'd made from the last Come Make a Journal with me, and then I came across someone who had made, and I'll put her name across here because I can't remember it off the top of my head, and she made the whole journal from start to finish, and she did such a gorgeous job of it. So make sure you drop by and have a look at what she made. Still different, but you can see that, yeah, she's really followed along, which gave me the inspiration to start another one. So thank you very, very much. And so until part 2, mā te wā.